What's happening, everybody? It's your resident supervillain as well, the Urban Gladiator, Mr. J. Washington here with my official WWE Backlash review. Now, Backlash came to us from New Jersey, and this is the first new co-branded pay-per-view, as we're going to have matches from Raw and SmackDown. And I got a lot of thoughts, so let's just get right into it. The show kicked off with The Miz versus Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental title. If anything we've been seeing over the past few weeks, even leading up to and post-WrestleMania, we knew this match was going to be amazing and entertaining. It did definitely deliver and did not disappoint or did not let down. Seth Rollins finished with the curb stomp after taking an ass whooping as well, but just one move and kicked out of several skull crushing finales and all this and that, and The Miz kicked out of different things, but nonetheless, 4 out of 5 star match. I definitely enjoyed it. So we figure out this way: if this kicks off the pay-per-view, you want a match that's just as high energy and just as entertaining to close it, right? Which would mean you would possibly be getting AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE title, right? We'll talk about that in a few. Up next was the Raw Women's Championship, which saw champion Nia Jax take on the challenger now, Alexa Bliss. And again, in some of what we saw from WrestleMania, but this time, Bliss really played up her role super well. I love the way they put this together. Nia Jax delivered. It was a surprising match, and again, 4 out of 5 stars. I gotta give it to that, okay? Let's go right to that next match. The United States. Why would I say Universal? We ain't gonna say that for a while. The United States Championship. Randy Orton, who I believe was just there to collect a paycheck, versus Jeff Hardy, who's starting to have a little more fun, but still collecting a paycheck. All right, it was a typical Orton match. Let's just be honest. There's nothing special about a Randy Orton match anymore. If you think I'm wrong, you can look back from the past 3-4 years. Granted, yes, Orton has done everything in the company. So what is there new for him to do? But this match was a bit entertaining, but it was just the same things we've seen from Randy Orton here and there. Surprisingly, though, Jeff Hardy does pull out the W, retains the U.S. Championship, and we're on to our next segment. Yeah, won the match. Next segment showed you Elias, who is super over. And I'm hoping the WWE has some major plans for this dude. This dude is potentially a star once he gets the right program to elevate him to that title level. Elias sitting in the ring, getting ready to perform. And right while he's about to perform, here comes Aiden English, interrupting with Rusev Day. And you think you get in the match. But that didn't happen at all. Because then after that, before that was the New Day interrupted, excuse me. Before that was New Day interrupted. And then Rusev Day. And then No Way Jose. And then Bobby Roode. It stopped rhyming at that point like it was supposed to go. But it just ended with Bobby Roode giving Elias a glorious DDT. Then everybody falling into a conga line. Aiden English almost going. Rusev losing his mind. Bobby Roode is glorious twerking up the ramp. And then everybody does the glorious pose on top of the ramp, including Titus Worldwide, who came down in the Congo line along with Breezango. Yeah, I guess. I don't know what to say or how to just not speed through that, because there was nothing poignant. Like, I still want Bobby Roode to go heel. My favorite Bobby Roode ever is Bobby Roode back from TNA when he was a part of Beer Money. James Storm, bro, you had the opportunity to bring that dope tag team to the WWE. All you had to do, bro, was just hold on. Anyway, next up, we had a match that I don't know why the hell this is happening, because I really can't stand one of the competitors. Daniel Bryan versus Big Ass. Yep, I said it. Big Ass. 7 feet of nothing. You're not going to convince me that dude is talented and has all the unlimited potential in the world. That dude is boring as shit. I'm talking Matt Morgan before TNA boring. Yeah, remember that? But, I mean, you want to see Daniel Bryan back in singles matches, which we're seeing, and is great after the whole retirement, and you thought he had a situation that could never be resolved, and now he's back full time. And I know this is a filler until we get him and The Miz, preferably at SummerSlam, so we don't have to wait that long. But you get him and Big Ass, and Big Ass being the 7-footer with the high britches, like the super high trunks, like, yo, and the greaseball hair. Like, here's the problem, okay? I think a lot of people have known this. Big Ass was only really popular and successful when he had Enzo with him. And he was only popular for spelling the word soft. And after losing his personality and losing Enzo, it's really not, you really can't get behind Cass. His personality doesn't stand out. Now, another thing you're going to get in every USA arena, no matter where he goes, for at least the next several months, are "We Want Enzo" chants. And if the WWE wants to separate him from Enzo, change his look. I understand some people are like, what do changing your look do? What does changing your look do? Well, changing the look can change the personality, the persona, and the way the audience perceives them. Having been a pro wrestler for 15 years, I know the slightest things in gimmick, music, wardrobe, how you approach the ring. Your moveset can stay the same, and you may add a few moves, but it changes and the crowd perceives you differently. That's how people go from face to heel, heel to face. And some people can just augment that with the crowds. Nonetheless, Big Ass taps out, which I was happy to see that. But then, of course, he does the jump of Daniel Bryan at the end of the match, which means we got to have at least one more match with them. I don't know about you. I just don't want to see that at all. Next up, we've got the SmackDown Women's Championship with Miss SmackDown's Women's Champion Carmella. I don't know what to call her. Moonwalking SmackTalking SmackDown Women's Champion Carmella taking on the Queen Charmella. Lord Jesus, the Queen Charlotte. Charmelle's been on my mind for some reason. I see pictures with her and the homie Booker. Like, yo, I get she's a mom and she's raising the family, but I would just love to see her come back and cut some dope ass promos. That's me personally. I was initially predicting that Carmella would retain due to the Iconics interference. And boy, was I wrong. That did not happen at all. It was rather surprising Carmella gets a clean win over Charlotte. And now what that does is technically put Charlotte out of the mix for a women's championship because that was her automatic rematch clause. And now you do the whole thing where there has to be a new number one contender. And I'm pretty sure this is how you give it to Asuka. But the way the WWE has been booking her leading up to WrestleMania and post-WrestleMania, I don't know what to expect because her tapping out at Mania was real dumb. And then her losing tag match is like, yo, what are y'all doing? You built this woman up from NXT, even after she got injured and had to relinquish the title. And then coming into the WWE, you built her up so just dominating. And just revered, and then have her win the first ever Women's Royal Rumble to kill all of that at WrestleMania. The culmination of what should have been a great run that you've led everything up to, you killed it all, and you've been taking it downhill ever since. I don't know what you're going to do. Yeah, granted, she won this past Tuesday, but Asuka's not even on the card. Do you get how bad that is? It's somebody who they've been pumping up was not even on the card for a pay-per-view. You can't tell me it's all just the best of the best because Asuka is one of the best. Put her against one of the best wrestlers on the Raw roster. Put her up against Sasha Banks. Put her up against Bayley. Put her up against Naomi. Do something. But it is what it is. Next, we have the WWE Championship. And yes, if I sound as disappointed as you think I am, it was a no disqualification match versus the champion AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. And of course, this was a match I was like, yo, hopefully the WWE will let them do what they can do. If you really want to build this, you've made this no DQ, let those two men go in the ring how they know how to go. Wrestle Kingdom has shown that. Before Shinsuke has even come to the WWE or was even a thought in the WWE, has shown that. Numerous matches they've had, they know how to put on a 5-star clinic. It was a no DQ match. And of course, the one great thing that came out of this was a lot of the strong style we saw. Forearm strikes, punches, everything you know and love from Shinsuke in New Japan that had been kind of pulled back since he came to WWE. And AJ going back to those roots that he knows that he has as well. But again, it's interesting that they are held back. I get because of the WWE's travel restriction and want more longevity within their talent. But in some cases, you want their talent to put on these matches that you brought them in for. Also, it was brought up by Tom Phillips that this is the 5th time that Shinsuke Nakamura has had a match for the WWE title. Wow. You would think the 5th time would be a charm, wouldn't you? I thought I would. But turns out the 5th time is not. as both the men consistently land low blows, and the final low blow is a double kick to the groin, one from Shinsuke to AJ, one from AJ to Shinsuke, and shout out to my boy referee Jason Ayers, who has the greatest face of all time with that moment. Oh my God, you have to see it. If you haven't, I should have it up right now, and probably put it up longer than I should have. But nonetheless, no count out, so now we have to have either a last man standing match, Hell in a Cell, something to culminate this, which will finally possibly culminate in giving us Shinsuke Nakamura for as the WWE champion. Which, if that does not happen, that is the biggest waste of Shinsuke ever. You quit putting that man in title opportunities just to lose. You shouldn't do that. That is just unnecessary. How do you follow that up? By a glorified great tag team match. And by great tag team match, I'm talking the monster among men, Braun Strowman, teaming with the Dominator, Bobby Lashley, and take on the great heroic team, if you call it heroic, of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. This match was exactly what everybody thought it was going to be. We've already seen it. There was nothing new. Of course, Braun and Lashley win the match. Then afterwards, Braun proceeds to want to power slam Sami Zayn a couple times, and finally power slams Kevin Owens, and it served no purpose. Like, we know Braun is a monster. We know he whoops ass. You don't need to prove that. You know he can do that to Owens and Zayn. So what's the point? Again, I know I'm supposed to try to look at this through the eye of the casual wrestling fan, but it's hard. Especially, I can have the fandom, but still having knowledge of being in the business, which, by the way, I keep telling y'all, my boots, I have new boots. They're in my closet. I'm getting new gear, finding me some companies out here in California. Well, Southern California, and we're going to make it happen. Anyway, that takes us to what is our main event, which, why is this the main event? Why is Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe your main event of the pay-per-view when you had AJ versus Shinsuke? And then, but then after the finish, I was like, oh, that's why you didn't have it as your main. But you could have done something else. I know I hate to say this, and I hate to sound like that. Oh, you're just so negative about him. I hate to sound like one of those people, but it's just true. Everybody is tired of Roman Reigns. Okay, we're tired of the push, the unnecessary push. Now, granted, they did it with Edge. You know, myself and a couple buddies just say, "Oh, they're pushing Edge down our throats," but Edge had the charisma to back it up. Edge had the personality to back it up. And so when they gave him the title and things started happening, you started rocking with him heavily. You can't deny that you didn't. When he became the rated R superstar, it was a reason you kept riding with him. When he became part of Team RKO, you rode with him. The best thing was about Roman Reigns was when he was with the Shield, the original iteration of the Shield. And granted, yes, they were supposed to come back at TLC, where it was supposed to be Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns taking on, I think it was the Miz Taraj, but yet instead we got Kurt Angle in a flat jacket looking like a Make-A-Wish kid, and that completely killed the Shield. Now, there's no way of salvaging that, even if you bring Dean Ambrose back. There's not. It won't work. Roman Reigns gets booed in every arena we see on television. Now, yes, Triple H is going on record saying, oh, he doesn't get booed at house shows. He gets cheered. But we don't see house shows. Let's just call it for what it is. We don't see them. So, as the casual wrestling fan who watches the WWE Monday nights, Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, and the occasional pay-per-view, I don't know what happens in Evansville, Indiana. I don't know what happens in Midland, Kentucky, things like that. I don't know those. I know what I see. And what I see is every time Roman Reigns, that music hits, that remix Shield music hits, there are boos that echo throughout the building. Now, yes, you will have people that start the chant, "Let's go Roman," just to start the other part of the chant, "Roman sucks." So what are people expecting to get out of that? I have zero idea. The match went like you thought pretty much was going to go, with Joe beating the dog shit out of Roman. You know, from coquina clutches numerous of times, just consistently thumping him, things of sorts, you know, putting Roman through a table earlier. Didn't expect that. Did not. But it leading to Roman hitting the Superman punch, really no effect. Then later on, after Joe slips up, a spear, 1, 2, 3, that's it. What Huh? Yeah, I get earlier in the night with The Miz and Seth Rollins, there were a lot of false finishes, especially kicking out of finishers. But one spear from somebody who's just whooped you for almost 15, 20 minutes. One spear puts him down. Stop trying to make me believe that Roman is this super powerhouse. Stop trying to make me believe that you can do no harm to Roman Reigns. That, yeah, Brock Lesnar hurt him, but he can bounce back. He is not Super Cena 2.0. It's just not going to happen. But yet, the WWE wants to do that. Now, granted, I want to say something too. I come off negative with this in a bit because of the pay-per-view. But yes, if anybody knows me, I got friends in the back on both shows for the roster. And I love them to death. And I love those I've met and those I've been acquainted with. But I know they want to put on a solid show for people too. That is the reason they got in this business, to be entertainers, to entertain crowds worldwide. And I just don't get why booking, more so Vince McMahon, doesn't understand that. Listen to the fans out there in the arena. Listen to the 17,000 people, the 20,000, the 50s and hundreds of thousands when you go different places. They'll let you know what they want to see, because if it differs from every single place, then that's one thing. But if the collective sound is all the same when on your broadcasts are all the same, what the world is knowing you for, then that's a problem. That's an issue. I wanted to like this pay-per-view. I was hoping to like this pay-per-view. I knew that there were a few matches I wouldn't care about. But nonetheless, this is what we got. If I had to give it a rating of 1 out of 5 stars, I'm giving this pay-per-view a 2. Because what could have saved it, the WWE title match, didn't. The best match was at the beginning of the show, and because we live in a microwave generation, that match stayed in people's brains, honestly, through the next match, which happened to be the Raw Women's Championship match. But these are just my opinions. You can say what you got to say in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, click on that notification bell. Check out some of my other videos. Who's your favorite Digimon? What are your favorite 90s, 80s, and 90s cartoon villains? Check out some of the trailer reaction reviews I did. Check out the one from Ant-Man. Check out the one from Venom. All that and more are available on this channel. Also, make sure you catch me along with Johnny LaQuasto, Scott Narver, and Dale Rutledge on the Wrestling Compadres Slamcast. Check us out at Wrestling Compadres, on Facebook. Also, Compadres Show on Twitter, and Wrestling Compadres on Instagram. And we drop, I believe, every Thursday on iTunes, so make sure you keep up with that. Also, check me out on the Trusty Sidekick podcast with myself and Bobby Hill, where we get you caught up on everything in the Marvel and DC live action and cinematic universes. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. J Washington, MrJaywashington. Thank you guys for sticking with me through this video. I hope to be bringing more reviews, more updates, more thoughts and opinions for you all, and I want to hear yours as well. Till then, take care. I'm out of here. Peace.